Okay, and I did want to mention that we are recording this, so just want to make sure that everybody knows that. All right, next thing. So once you've created invitation, you will also probably be receiving invitations for you to come into their Zoom meetings. So accepting invitations to join meetings you can find them in different places. People can either put them in your calendar invite like we spoke of earlier, they can send them in an email, or they can send them on a link. They can create a link and send that to you in a form or anywhere online, really. So one way that you might see it is, this is an example of a calendar invite right over here. In the location section, usually people write what their Zoom links are. So that's where you would find that specific link for them. So instead of an actual physical location, you would have the location of your Zoom room. Okay, another example, like I said, is the email. This is part of what the copy invitation looks like. So all of the information that you get within that, this is part of that, right? And the one that you would click on, because there's a lot of stuff to click on once you get the invitation, but the one that you want to click on is this first one right here, and it'll say click here to join. That's what you want to click. That'll take you directly to the meeting, and they should be able, if they have a waiting room, they should be able to let you in. If not, you go directly into that meeting. And the other form would be a link that they could make. So for example, like today for this Zoom room, you all got the invitation by seeing the link on the PDF that was sent out for development day. So you guys already did that part. You guys know how that works, but that is another example that you can use in order to find other Zoom rooms and other Zoom links. All right, really quick rundown. So for the audio, I noticed that you all are muted, which is great. But if I were to ask anybody to unmute themselves, this is basically what you would do. So on the bottom or the top, you can move your toolbar, but on the bottom or the top, you'll see a microphone that says mute. If you're not muted, it will say mute. If you are muted, it'll say unmute so that you can select either or. Okay. And let's see. All right. So another thing that goes along with the audio is you may notice that I have some Bluetooth headphones on right now. So I'm able to select the audio as far as like where I'm hearing it from. And then also if I want to select and change my microphone, I can change that as well. By doing that, by clicking on the up arrow right next to the microphone, you're able to select the microphone, and you're also able to select the speaker. Okay. And then I might be going through this a little bit fast, but just so you know, if you do have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. And then at the end of this, we'll go through and see if there are any other questions that maybe I answered or didn't answer, and we can go through that at the end. All right. So just like the microphone, you have the ability to turn off or on your video camera. I do notice that some of us have the video camera on, and most of us have them off. But the same way that you're able to change the microphone to the speaker, or the speaker, you can change the camera that you have selected. So for instance, right now, I'm using the camera that comes with and built into the laptop. But if I had an external camera, an external webcam, let's say a USB insert one, I can go ahead and select that camera as opposed to the one that comes in integrated into the laptop. And by doing that, by selecting the up arrow and then selecting the camera that you see underneath where it says select a camera. All right. All right, so another thing that you might find that you want to do is perhaps record your session. So if you are meeting with someone and you do want to record that session, this is how you do that. So on the bottom, the same way that you have the mute and the mute for the mic, the change for the camera, you also have the ability to record. So if you click the record button, you'll see this little pop-up that comes right above it, and you have the options for record on this computer or record to the cloud. Now, you definitely want to be recording to this computer. You don't want to record to the cloud. You can record to the cloud, but we all definitely recommend that you do not do that because the cloud automatically deletes pretty much once a week. So I wouldn't depend on the cloud at all. I would make sure that you record to your computer, and I'll show you in the next slide how to save your recordings and where to find them if you wanted to upload them later. But just so we're all on the same page, you click record, you select where, which should be the computer that you select instead of the cloud, and then next thing we would do is locate a space to record that or to save them. So the first thing we do as far as where you want to record, where you want to save your recordings, is we go to the settings right over here. So in your main page, when you first log into to Zoom, you'll see your little icon with your initials or your picture if you've uploaded one. And then you have a little gear right under here. So if you select the gear, you'll get this pop-up right here, okay? Now this is basically just the settings for you. So if you hit the recording menu item right on the left-hand side, you'll see that you'll get a local recording and store my recordings at. And now this is basically where you select exactly what location on your computer you want to find your recordings at. So if the easiest thing for you is going to be right on your desktop, this is where you do that. You make sure that you select your desktop, and then you can either create a folder for them, or you can just leave them all on your desktop, whatever works best for you. But this is definitely the place that you want to do that, so that when you do go ahead and hit record and record to this computer, you'll always find them in that specific folder. All right. Another thing that we can do once you're in a meeting, if you notice, you can actually change your name on the participants, right? So if everybody can just go ahead and click on the participants icon on the bottom, or in your toolbar, if you click on the participants icon, you'll see that you'll find all of our names on there. Everybody that's in the meeting right now. All of us should have our names there, right? So if you wanted to change your name, let's say that you didn't want your full name, you just wanted your nickname or anything like that, or you wanted to add your pronouns, you can go ahead and do that by clicking on right next to your name, clicking rename, or clicking more and then rename. And I'll go ahead and change mine so you guys can see that. Okay. All right. So if you guys have noticed, now my name says Jesse, and then in parentheses he, him. So I added my pronouns on there, but the best part is that if you do want to change your name, you can do that. So you have the freedom to do that whenever you enter a meeting or whenever you're hosting a meeting, right? Okay. Next thing is a quick little overview of what your Zoom room is basically going to look like. So when you first sign in or when you first start a meeting, this is basically what you're going to, the structure of what your page will look like, right? So you'll have your menu on the bottom. You'll have the video of yourself if you're hosting, or the person that's speaking at the moment. And then you'll have either, if there's just one person, then that'll be the other person in the room. But if you have a few other people, you'll see them in a line right at the top. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can change the view. You can change it from the speaker view, which is this specific view right now, or the gallery view by clicking this button right over here. Excuse me. So if you click the gallery view, you'll actually be able to see everybody in the same, in little thumbnails in the same space, as opposed to just one person at a time. Now, once you do that, there should be a little yellow line or a yellow outline that goes around that video that shows you who the person is talking in at the moment. So that's a good way to tell if you don't have your, if you can't hear or anything like that, you can tell if somebody's speaking because you can see that the yellow line is around their image. The other thing is that you can also see your participants and your group chat in the same window when you open. So the same, and also the same way that you can see that, you can take that off. So if you just want to see the people instead of just instead of everybody and everything on your screen, you can actually click either the participants again to turn that off, and you can click the chat again to turn that off, and then just have that on your screen. All right. So speaking of chat, so this is basically how you use the chat in Zoom. So if you wanted to go ahead and message anybody inside of the room that you're currently in, you would click the chat icon, right? Which is also on your toolbar. Click the chat icon, and then you'll see that you'll get a little pop-up. It's and you'll have the option to say either to everyone, or if you click that drop down, if you click this little drop down arrow, you're able to select a specific person in the room, right? And that'll send them a private message. Now, I'm saying private message because in the moment it's private between you and the other person. But if for instance, right now I am recording. When I record, I get a recording of the video, but I also get a transcript of the chat. So don't say anything that you don't want anybody else, or you shouldn't probably be saying on the chat, because most likely it can be seen. So just so you know, just so that's out there, and don't say I didn't warn you. But so yeah, so you are able to select a specific person. You are able to speak to everyone at the same time, or like I said, just a few select people at once. And once you do send a new message, or once you do receive a new message, you'll see right over here that you'll get a little orange, like an orange blinking light, and that'll signify that you have a new message waiting for you. All right. So another really cool feature that Zoom has is verbal feedback. So let's say, for instance, like right now, I have you all muted, and if I were to ask a question, obviously I would want some type of feedback, but without everybody speaking at once. So a really cool way to do that is if you go to the participants icon again, and you select that icon, you'll see at the bottom, underneath all of the names and all of the attendees in the meeting, you'll see that you have a few different icons that you can select, right? So if everybody, actually, let's go ahead and try this out really quickly. If you can just go ahead and click the participants icon, and then just select any one of the icons, and you should see it right next to your name. Awesome. Great. Yep, perfect. So this is a really great way. So if you have, if you have a group of people that you are wanting to ask a question to, like I said, and you don't want everybody talking at the same time, this is a really great way to just get some nonverbal feedback. All right, and then also, just so you know, as a host, you are able to basically just erase or clear all of the feedback at once, so that you can move on and ask a new question or anything like that. And I'll go ahead and do that. And that is right, you don't see it here, but it is right next to it. It says clear all, and it'll be a little eraser button for you to be able to do that. All right, next thing. All right, so let's try a little exercise. Another little exercise. So with this tool, we're able to actually annotate on the screen. So if I'm presenting and I give the option to say, or if I say, hey, can everybody please, mark which answer you would like or which question you would like on the quiz, or I don't know, just anything really. If you're able, if I give you the option to do that, you'll be able to, you'll notice that on the top of your screen or on the bottom, you'll have a little green bar that should say you're viewing Jesse's screen, and then a view option right next to that. If you click on that, you should get a little toolbar that pops up after that. And then that should give you the option to select one, either a text or a draw or anything like that. And you're able to actually draw on my screen. So if you see it, yeah, oh, awesome, cool. Yeah, so you're able to draw, you're able to stamp. A stamp is a really cool one because it's either a star or a heart or something like that. And you're able to just go ahead and stamp instead of writing something out, because I know it's a little difficult to write with the with a mouse. But yep, awesome. Yep, and then and as well as writing, you're able to text. So you're able to write type in the text that you need or that you want. Awesome. Yeah, you guys are getting the hang of this. All right, so the same way we just did that, let's go ahead and click the view options again, and or the tool on the toolbar again, and click clear for me so that we can clear all of the writing off the board. No? Okay. All right, we're just gonna move on with there we go. All right. We can leave the happy face. You can leave the happy face. That works. All right. Next thing is polling. So this is something that if you have a few questions and you want to get some feedback from the people in your group, this is a great way to do that. This is another great way to do that. You can create questions, and these would have to be ahead of time, but you can create questions, and you're able to get the other people to select which answer that they would like, and it would be anonymous. So if it's more so about the percentages of each answer as opposed to everybody getting a right or wrong answer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick one for you guys so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay, so now you should all see a poll. And if everybody could just go ahead and answer either one. Yep, there we go. Awesome. Okay, and I'll leave it for a few more seconds, and then I'll give you guys the results. I'll show you that. All right, so then once you're ready, once you're done fielding all of the answers, you can go ahead and hit end polling, and then I will show you now the results. Okay, so you should be able to see that we have the top answer and the second answer, and then the percentage of who answered what. So, or how many people answered what. And you see, not everybody answered, obviously, but when you have a full room, at least you won't know actually exactly who's answering or not, but you'll have a pretty good view of like what that looks like. All right, and then you're able to stop sharing, and you're able to create new questions as well. And then as many questions as you'd like. Really, there's no limit on this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and stop sharing. All right. Okay, so speaking of sharing, the next thing that is really awesome about Zoom is that you're able to screen share. Now, this is one of those things that is probably the most important thing in these recent times, because if you want to show your screen, or if you have something that you're working on that you need some advice on or just need to work on with somebody else, this is a great way to do that. So I'm going to try and teach you the best way to do that, because sometimes there are some personal things on our computers that we don't want to share necessarily with everybody. So I want to give you the best tips and tricks to do to make sure that that doesn't happen for you. So once you're ready, you would click on share. This would say share. It says new share because somebody's already sharing, but you would click on the share button, which is in green. It'll always be in green. Once you click the share button, you'll get this pop-up right over here, right? And this pop-up gives you a lot of options, right? It gives you the option to share your desktop. It gives you the option to share a whiteboard. It gives you the option to share the PowerPoint or Word. Basically, any program that you have open on your computer at the moment, it'll give you the option to share. So here's the thing we don't want to do. We don't want to do desktop. If you do desktop, anything and everything that is on your desktop will be viewed in Zoom. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't know if I have any personal information up or anything like that. So I try to always select just the program that I'm working in. So for instance, right now we're working in PowerPoint. I'm working in PowerPoint. I selected PowerPoint as opposed to desktop, so that all that you see as an attendee in my meeting is just PowerPoint. That is, I know it sounds easy, but sometimes it's really hard to just click. It's really hard to just like focus and you click desktop and then you have all of your stuff all out in the open. And I've done it before. So just out of experience, you know that, you know, sometimes there's just stuff that it's just a lot easier to select just one program and make sure that you select, if you want to move from one program to the next, then you can actually hit new share and then select that new program. So for instance, if we wanted to move from PowerPoint to Word, I would click new share and then select Word next in order to show you Word as opposed to just PowerPoint. All right. And then once you're ready with that, once you're done, you can hit stop share, and then you'll go back to the speaker view or to the gallery view where you see all the participants. All right, folks, that smiley face was great. It made the PowerPoint. You guys don't need me. That smiley face is all great. Well, that's about it for what I have on my part. I probably went through things a little faster than maybe some of you may have wanted. So we do have extra time though. So please go ahead and send any questions that you have, and I will try my hardest to answer them all. Okay. All right, so it says, one of the questions says, hello, I would like to know if there are any notes sent from presentation, if any attendees arrived late. So I do have notes. I will make sure to actually put them onto the website, to the e-learning website, so you'll have the option to look for them there. But I didn't post anything in here at the moment. So let's see. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Is it Zalia? What wasn't showing up for you? Maybe I can help you and walk you through that. No? Okay. Well, Zalia, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat and I'll try and get back to you. All right, let's see. All right, next one is, would this also work for Keynote on the Mac? Yes. So if you have Keynote open and you have your Zoom open, you should be able to select Keynote as the screen share for you to view in Mac, on the Mac. hi, can you share how to choose where to save the recorded meeting, as I missed that part? Yeah, of course, definitely. Let's go ahead and do that. We can go back to that real quick. All right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So, so we'll start from the beginning. So once you decide that you are going to want to record your meetings, the first thing you want to do is go to the settings, right? So the settings is going to be in your main menu, which is when you sign in. When you sign in and everything, you'll see the 4 icons that say join meeting, start meeting, schedule, and I think there's one more, but I don't quite remember right now. But in that same place, you'll see your icon with your initials or your picture, and then you'll see a settings gear right underneath that. If you click that, it'll pop up, the settings window will pop up, and on the left-hand side, you would select recording. Once you select recording, you'll see that you'll have the option to store your local recordings. That is exactly where you want to go to find the place where you want to save all of your recordings. So if you want to save them straight to the desktop, you can save them straight to the desktop. If you wanted to save them into a specific folder in your local drive, then you can do that as well. But this is the place that you would do that at. I hope that answered your question. If you need me to go a little bit more in depth, I can do that as well. Okay. All right. So next thing I see is annotate. Okay. So yes, the annotate option was not showing. Okay. Okay. All right. So here are a few things with the annotate. Let's see. Let's go back to the annotate window. Okay. So just to make sure that you all see what I'm seeing, and again, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but there are definitely a lot of different versions of Zoom, and if you're not completely up to date, they might seem a little different. Right now, I am running the most up-to-date version of Zoom, so what I see may not be the same thing that you see, and what you see may not be the same thing that I see. So if I'm just gonna go ahead and run through what you should see. So at the top or on the bottom, it should say you are viewing Jesse's screen, right? And I'm gonna keep the chat open and make sure that those people can see what I'm seeing. So so if you do see that, do you see right next to it where it says view options? And we can also do verbal feedback if you'd like as well. I have that open. But I just want to make sure. Okay, so when you see options, can you use that drop down menu and tell me if you see the annotate option? I see some people writing. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't say annotate for you, Zalia. Okay. Also, am I saying your name correctly? I apologize if I'm not. Yeah, that might be that correct. Yeah, it might be that you have the an older version. Um, and a good way to check your versions is by going to your settings. And then also, well, I guess I should tell you exactly how to do that really quickly. Okay. Okay, so if you go to your settings and you go to general, on the bottom you should see view more settings. And once you hit view more settings, that'll send you to the web page, to the Zoom web page. And if you're not up to date, you get a little message at the top that says there's an update for you to update your Zoom to the latest version. So I would try that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's get back to these questions. Flow to take a poll. Okay. So, Jeffrey, um, do you mean as far as how to create a poll or how to take a poll? Because I can put the poll back up and you can try taking it. Okay, great. So so let's go. Let's do this. Let me. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a new share, and we're gonna go to my web browser. All right. So now you should all see that I'm at the Zoom. I'm in the Zoom website. So once you hit the polls icon, if you want to add a poll question, this will pop up. This allows you to add questions and allows you to change any of the answers or change any of the questions. If you want to add more questions, if you want to take away some questions, you're able to do all of that in here. So I can type in question 1. Okay. Then answer 1 and answer 2. All right. So once that's done, we want to make sure we scroll to the bottom and hit save. If you don't hit save, it won't, you won't see it. So we want to make sure we do hit save. All right. So once you've saved your poll, we're going to go back. I'm going to go ahead and do another new share, and we're going to go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so now if I want to show you that poll, okay, there you go. So now you're able to select. I've posted the poll so that you all can select either yes or no or the answer 1 or 2. And once that's done, if I hit end polling, at the bottom, I get the option to either share the results or relaunch the poll. Now, if I wanted to relaunch the poll, it would just relaunch the same question. But if you have another poll that you want to ask, at the top, there's a little drop-down menu that allows you to select the other poll. So if you name your polls, you can select based off of their name. And that's how you would change the polls. But if you wanted to share the results, like I did earlier, I would click share results, and now everybody can see the poll results to the questions that I just asked. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got in the chat. Okay, so All right. So it says the breakout room icon might be really helpful with big groups. Are there any tips on using this feature or words of caution? Yeah. So as far as breakout rooms, a good reason that you would use them is if, like Chris said, that if is a big group of people, perhaps you want to split people up into different groups and have them work on specific things, or you just want to do a little bit of a more of a close-knit group between people so that it's a little bit more personal and you can get things basically more under control, I guess. But you do that by selecting breakout rooms. And now, if you're the only way you can do this is if you're a host. So if you do have the option, the icon on there, you select it, and you also have the option to either create automatic rooms. So this will be, say there's 30 people in the group right now in the same room. You can select how many groups you want to make, and Zoom will automatically disperse the attendees into those groups, right? Or you can create manual groups, which is where you create each group separately, you name the groups, and then you place each participant into those groups. That's a little bit more advanced, but if you need any help with that, I will be creating a tutorial on that, and I can put the link up for you all to see that on the e-learning website. All right, next thing, Fiona, missed the login. I got to use our email. What password? Okay, so with the login, you only need that if you create or if you have an account with Zoom. So if you don't have an account with Zoom, you can create a free account, or as an instructor, you can ask one of us and we can create an account for you in order to use for your class or for anything else that you need. And it's your school email, and then you create your own password. All right, so also I noticed the view option, pane windows does not. Okay, I think we went over that. All right, Gina, let's see. I know you as a host can choose to have all participants muted, but if you're during the Zoom, if you want to unmute all and then remute all. You know, that's a good question. I don't think I've ever wanted to unmute all, everyone, so let me see. Oh, yes, there is. So in the participants window, now, again, this is the newest version. So I'm speaking from my version, which is the 5.02, I believe. On the bottom of the participants window, once you open that, you'll see an invite button, you'll see a mute all button, and you'll see an unmute all button. So you can do that. Okay, let's see. Yes, Fiona, if you do have a personal account, you can definitely add your Seattle College's account. It's just a matter of changing the email whenever you sign in. That's literally it. If you're meeting admin and accidentally show all your desktop business while recording, is there a way to remove it later? No, there is not. Yeah, that's the part that sucks. If you share anything and it is recorded, unless it's like half of the window where you have maybe like this, if you go into a post editing software and you maybe crop the window to that, honestly, that's probably the only thing that you'll be able to do in order to get rid of anything that you want unseen. So so select the program that you want to use instead of the desktop. All right. Okay. All right. So it says, please cover how to find and share your recording. Okay, so we'll go back to where to save your recording and we can walk backwards. So, let's see. Okay. All right. So in this step, we used and we found how to record, how to save your recordings and where to save your recordings, right? So once you're ready to upload, once you're ready to share those recordings, you want to make sure that you have one of the programs open that you'll be using. So one of the platforms that you'll be using to share your video, right? So whether it's YouTube or it's, if you're in Canvas, Panopto, you want to make sure that you have those platforms open. You find your recording on your desktop or wherever it is that you found those, and you upload, right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you all how to do that with Panopto. Or actually, why don't I ask you all if let's just do it with Panopto really quickly. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. So let's say that we have a video that we want to upload to our class or to just to share the video itself, and you're in Canvas. Good way is to do a Panopto, hit Panopto recordings. Okay. And then we want to click on the create button and upload media. Okay. Once you upload media, it'll give you the option to either drag the files in here or find them on your desktop and just upload. Okay. So once you've uploaded your video, if you need to share, what you would do, we don't want to click on it. We're going to go to share. Okay. Now this will give you the option to click the link or the embed link and share that, or embed the link into maybe a course or a PDF or anything like that that you would want to share for later. But yeah, so that's how you upload after finding your video. And then if you're in YouTube, you can go to upload video from your channel. And you do the same thing. You either drag and drop or you find the files. And that's it. Oh, you know what I just realized? I don't think any of you guys saw that. Okay, sorry, I was still in PowerPoint. All right, so let's do the Panopto real quick. Okay, so if you're in Panopto, if you're in Canvas and you want to upload and share that, the best and easiest way to do that is by clicking on the Panopto recordings, then clicking on the create button, and you'll see the drop down, click upload media. Once you select that, this is where you find the video either on your desktop or wherever it is that you saved it from Zoom, and upload from here. Once you're done with that, which is depending on the length of the video, it'll probably take some time before it's processed and upload it up to the server. But once you're done with that, next thing is clicking share underneath the video, and you can either select the link or select the embed and insert that wherever you'd like to share the video. All right. All right, folks. And then the next thing I did that you guys also couldn't see is when you're doing it in YouTube. So a good way to do that is just to hit the create button at the top, upload videos, and do the same thing. You're able to drag and drop or select from your local drive into YouTube. And you can also create the same way you can create playlists. You can, with music, you can create playlists for YouTube and for Panopto as well. Okay. All right, let's see. A few more things before we end here. So Gina, so it says you change your Zoom ID number to a personal or a phone number. Is there any advice on this? So I changed my work, so my regular Zoom account to my work phone number, and that just made it easier for me. I would keep your personal meeting ID number to meetings where you meet with specific people as opposed like maybe like one-on-one meetings. But if you have a group of people that you want to see in a meeting, I would suggest creating or generating an auto ID and then just sending that link or that invitation out to whoever. All right, let's see. Okay, all right, so I don't see any more questions. I'm actually going to turn over the mic really quickly to Judy. But I want to say thank you so much, and I really appreciate your time. And yeah, thank you so much for being here today. And I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going out there, but I appreciate it.